Hey guys, it's D Man number 5, and today I'm here to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the third movie in the whole Guardians trilogy, and is supposedly the last movie that we will see all these characters together. Uh, so, first of all, I should talk about my thoughts on the previous movies and all the other Guardians entries. The first film I saw when I was in elementary school. I didn't know who the hell the Guardians were. I had no idea they were even like a team in the comics. I had no idea. So going in, I was going in blind. I didn't know who they were or anything. And that movie, the first one, became one of my most favorite. It became one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time. Uh, and also, Gunn really knows how to start off a movie by having the main character's mom die in the first opening. And like, I was not like this movie came out in Phase Two. And Phase Two, I like to call Marvel trying to be a little darker. And the opening to Guardians, the first one, really shows it. And then the next scene is Peter dancing to Hooked on a wait, no, Come and Get Your Love. Yeah. So I love the first one. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really fun. I loved all the characters. Except for some Gamora and Drax weren't really my favorites in that movie, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I really liked the first one. Second one uh is I really don't know how to explain some MCU sequels. Some MCU sequels feel like Marvel TV show episodes. Like, here's all the characters just in an adventure, just so you can see what they're doing. That's kind of what the second one felt like to me. But at the same time, it didn't because we found out who Peter's dad was. Who, by the way, I thought Ego was a really great villain. Kurt Russell was great as Ego. And when I didn't see the second one in theaters, because I think after Civil War, I kind of went on a hiatus from Marvel. I don't know how I did, but I did. But I decided to catch up because Infinity War was coming out at the time. So I watched Guardians 2, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Uh, is If I had to rank it, it probably goes Guardians Volume 2, Guardians 1, and then this, and then Guardians 3. And I'll tell you why. But I really liked the second one. I thought the soundtrack in it, by the way, soundtrack in all these movies, phenomenal. I love how they all just fluently work their way into the film and really match the tone. So yeah, I liked the first one. I really loved the second one. I thought it was a great mix of drama and humor, and it was a really good like here's what the characters are doing now. Um, and so the Guardians' other entries were in Infinity War, Endgame, and then their Christmas special. In Infinity War, I thought they were good. Um, some have like argued that if James Gunn had written their scenes differently, they could have been used better. I honestly think the Russos did a pretty good job with how they wrote the Guardians in the movie. Like, I feel like their dialogue still felt like how James Gunn would write it. Except for I will agree with Gunn on this. Star Lord should not have like hit Thanos and like ruined the entire plan. But yeah, their entries in both those two Avengers movies were really good. I felt like they did a lot to help drive the story, but I feel like they could have been used a lot more. Like Endgame and Infinity War, mainly Infinity War seemed like it was mainly in the Guardians territory. I feel like they could have helped more, or maybe like should have been more like aware of like stuff like this. But I thought they were great in both those movies. The Christmas special, again, one of those Marvel TV show episodes. I thought it was fun. Thought it was a good idea to finally bring in Kevin Bacon. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's like the best thing. It was a Phase Four project. Most projects in Phase Four were not the best, but out of some projects in that phase, it's definitely a good one that stands out. All right, so now let's get into Guardians 3. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what I liked about it, then what I didn't like about it, and then we'll go from there. So what I liked about it, I liked that it was finally a good fucking MCU movie that we got in a while since like No Way Home, which was like almost like 2 years ago or like a year ago. But yeah, no, what I going into this movie, I didn't have high hopes. I didn't have expectations. I was kind of losing the love for Marvel. But yeah, this movie completely changed everything. It showed me that Marvel is still making good movies. Um, but yeah, no, I loved the hell out of this movie. I thought it was really fun. I felt the serious tone of it. Again, this is the last movie for these characters to be together, and it was really good. And yeah, I loved it a lot. I was so happy to go and see this movie with my friends and to have a good time and not leave the theater going, man, that was mid. I don't think that was a good movie. I should have just, waited till it came on Disney Plus. No, I had a lot of fun with this movie. Some of the jokes did hit. The best parts about no, the jokes for some reason in this movie don't hit sometimes, but the emotional scenes in this movie hit like fucking hell. If you want to talk about like the comparison of like emotional scenes ranked from all these movies, it would go Volume 3, um, Guardians 1, and then Volume 2. I felt so much of the emotion in this movie, and it's mainly just being sad and stuff like that. Because, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, it's been out for like 2 weeks. But Lila, one of the characters who Rocket is friends with, she dies in a flashback. And when she dies, it hurt. Like it hurt to see her die. I like knew she wasn't gonna make it through, but I thought she would have like made it to like the ship or something, and then they would all die. But no, she dies right away. And I and then she just falls to the ground, and Rocket just looks at her. And the part that broke me was when he just starts yelling. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like but you kind of can't. Like we've all been in that moment where like shit just goes so bad for you in the worst way possible. All you can do is just fucking scream. And I felt it. And like it hurts seeing like all his other friends die. Again, Rocket's friends in the flashback, I actually did kind of like. I didn't find them annoying. Some of their lines could have been cut out because they went on for too long. But I felt the emotion, and I was so sad. It was so sad when that scene came on. I was like, holy shit, no. It hurt. This movie really like hits you with the emotions. Um, some of the emotions don't really work. Like, I wasn't really feeling the whole Star Lord misses Gamora thing, or like their kind of thing. Like, I get that Star Lord is depressed that he misses Gamora, but like, I don't think they executed it correctly. The story with Gamora and Star Lord is if you lost the person you love and you had a chance to meet them again, would you do it the same way, or would you like? That's a really good like idea, and I think they might do it with the future Spider-Man movie, but they did not do it correctly in this film. It felt cringe. Star Lord just felt like a complete douche whenever he talked to Gamora, which was the thing. But like, if you found out that your girlfriend is alive somehow, I would probably take it. I would probably like try and ease myself like into this situation of trying to like talk to her and stuff. But no, like I feel like that whole storyline could have been dealt better. But the way they ended it was pretty heartbreaking, but also made a lot of sense for the movie. Like they don't get back together, which I'm kind of happy about because it's like, oh, they always get back together, but no. So they both go their separate ways. And the line that's this was the good line between them was when Gamora asks, "Were we fun?" And then Star Lord says, "The best," and they just go their separate ways. That broke me, and also I really felt that line. That was really good. But I wish there were better interactions with them to build up to that line. Because yes, it's a good line, but the scenes that follow it are not so good. It's mainly Star Lord yelling and being a douche. But again, it was all right. The effects, oh, the effects are so good. I love the gadgets. I love how they look. Um, the only thing that doesn't look right is Nowhere. I get that like the Guardians like cleaned up Nowhere, and that is their base and all, but it looked a little too fake. Like the budget for Nowhere in both the holiday special and this movie did not change. It looked like it did not change. But again, the effects look great. The special effects look really good. The fight scenes look amazing. Oh my god, the final fight scene in the hallway with the Guardians against the High Evolutionaries goons looks so cool. It's so cool to like. I love one take fight scenes, and I get that most of it is computer generated, but it looked really cool just seeing everyone do their own thing. And the music. Oh my god, let's talk about the soundtrack in this movie. Soundtrack is so good. I love this soundtrack. Like after every single song, I was saying that's going on the playlist. And right when we left, I put the songs on my playlist. And the ending song is so good. It fits really well. The dog days are over. That really fits with the ending to the movie. And again, I loved I loved almost every aspect of this film except for some scenes, and some of them were some character interactions, some ideas that were, or some like choices that were made, and some like uh, film, not no, lighting or something like that. Some ways that the film was shot. So I'm gonna get right into that. I do not like how the color is saturated in this film. I don't like the bright yellow mixed with gold. That's not a good color. That's like, I think the last time I saw that was in what was it? Was it Quantum Assault? No, it wasn't Quantum. It was one of the Daniel Craig movies where it was it Spectre? I think it was It was one of the Daniel Craig movies, Daniel Craig James Bond movies, and it was the exact same lighting in this one. I do not like that. I think it makes the movie look a little bit grainy and almost sometimes fake, which is probably why I have a problem with Nowhere. But yeah, I did not like the lighting. I thought it wasn't distracting. It was just a little annoying sometimes to look at. Like it was too bright. Some Guardian movies, yes, they are colorful, and yeah, they are colorful, but they're also a little dark. Like the color is a little bit dim, but yes, it's bright. This was just really bright, and there was almost no color. Uh, one okay, let's talk about plot holes. Uh, why the fuck was Star Lord not wearing the helmet in the movie? James Gunn actually answered this question on Twitter, and he said he left it on his desk. He was in a hurry. Gunn, I do not want a Twitter post explaining why a character left one of his most valuable pieces of his uniform behind. It's like if Captain America left his shield. Yes, it's Captain America, but he's mainly known for having a shield, and that helps him through the battle. There's During the end, like right when the final battle ends, Star Lord jumps out of the ship and he's left in space to basically die. And I'm saying to myself, why isn't he using his helmet? Where's his helmet? Some characters don't even use their main weapons in this movie. Star Lord doesn't use his helmet or his rocket boots. He does use his blasters, but not those two other items that he's mainly known for. Drax doesn't use his knives until the ending fight scene, which is a good buildup, but also, you have knives, dude. Use the knives. They're almost better than your fists sometimes. Gamora doesn't use her sword most of the time. She uses a blaster. Groot's fine. I don't have a problem. Groot's great in all the movies and all the entries. I love Groot. Mantis was pretty good. She actually used her powers. Her powers were utilized a little bit better in this film and used in a very funny way. Rocket, he's out most of the film, but still, he should have been able to use most of his gadgets. Nebula, she got a robotic arm, but yeah, nanotech kind of all over the place, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, my argument is like, use your gadgets. I get that, like, oh, dramatic scenes, sometimes they don't really need the helmet, but like for logical situations, if you're fighting in space and you're using a helmet and you're going off into space to fight in our battle, bring the helmet that helps you breathe in space. I don't get why, like, was it because Chris Pratt said, "Oh, I don't want to wear the helmet most of the time." I doubt that. But yeah, no, he should use this helmet. All right. So, I'm gonna go back and forth between stuff I like and don't like on this one. Let's talk about the villain. So we have gotten some pretty lackluster villains in these recent phases of the MCU. But the High Evolutionary, I'm a little bit split on, because on one hand, I really like the performance and I love how he's played. On the other hand, some of the stuff, some of like his acting is a little bit annoying. Like he yells so much. I get that, like, he's this big scientist who's angry at like how society or how like the universe has been created and everything, and like how he's trying to perfect it, how he's been trying to perfect it. But a villain that smart, like, and who's like that, shouldn't be yelling all the time. If you think you're right and you're on this kind and you have this kind of goal, you shouldn't be yelling most of the time. You shouldn't be yelling at all, to be honest. Thanos didn't yell at all in his appearances. He did, but it was only for like when he's in battle, not when he's like just standing having a conversation with someone. He was calm and pleasant, and he let his presence give off the threatening, make him seem threatening. Not his like whole yelling voice type thing. Not yelling the entire time. Sorry, I didn't write a script for this, but yeah, most and also that goes for almost all the other characters. Like Star Lord yells a lot in this movie. Most of his dialogue is yelling, and it's really annoying. I didn't notice it too much, but when I did, it was like, oh, can he just shut up? Can he like just talk normally? But yeah, no. Robert De Niro once said, "The best villain is a villain who's quiet and calm." This is the High Evolutionary is not that villain. Again, he has parts in the film where like it works, where he's yelling. Yes, he's like mocking the characters or just like like trying to intimidate them or like he's angry at them. But it's all the time. What they should have done is when he's introduced and when he's in the flashbacks, he's not yelling. But for the scenes where he kills Lila in front of Rocket, that's when he should yell because he's angry at Rocket for messing up. Um for the rest of the time, no yelling except in the final battle when he meets Rocket again because he's basically lost everything and now he's got to like deal with Rocket. But no, most of it is just yelling. That's almost all the again, it's almost all the characters in this film. But it's a little thing. I only noticed it like a couple days after I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, but it didn't ruin it for me. Um, some parts of the movie that don't really work are the jokes. I mentioned this earlier. The jokes in this movie don't work. Like like Drax. Drax's jokes don't hit that much. Again, back then I didn't think Drax was funny. He had some good jokes. And this one, it's really hit or miss with him. It really depends on the kind of person you are. Because some of his jokes I did not find funny. I did like that he's able to talk to the kids and stuff like that. But yeah, most jokes don't work, and they're mainly around Drax or Nebula or Mantis. One example is we get our first F bomb in the MCU, and it's in a really bad joke. It's Nebula trying to open up a car door, and they go through this whole routine of like her pressing on the keyhole, then her pressing the button, and then Star-Lord saying, "Open the fucking door." It's a long, long, long joke that should have been short and it should have been easy. And I love that we got an F bomb in this movie, but I think it should have gone to Rocket. He's always been saying freaking in all these movies. He should have been the one to say the F word. But another joke that didn't work was Drax sitting on a couch. They just keep going back and forth. Like the first time it's funny, and the second time it's a little bit funny. Third time it just gets downright annoying. So yeah, some of the jokes just didn't work in this movie. Some of them did. I wish I had them written down because there were some that worked. Like Drax saying that he wants to kill a bunch of people, then Star-Lord saying, "No, he can't do that." And he's like, "All right, we'll kill one guy, one stupid guy that no one likes." I thought that was really good. I like the dark humor in these movies, but yeah, humor wasn't good. Humor was okay. It was okay. I'm not gonna. Why did I say it wasn't good? It was okay. It's just it should have been a little bit better. Adam Warlock. Again, I'm split between this character, like the High Evolutionary. So when Adam's introduced, it's done. In my opinion, it felt rushed. But if you didn't see the last one, then you know who he is. I think it worked. I think he was introduced again. I thought it was rushed. But at the same time, it kind of worked. But then after that, he doesn't really do much. Like he stabbed after his first fight, but then he doesn't do much except fly into people and then fall. And then he protects like this little like alien animal. And he does have a funny interaction with when Gamora holds up the animal. He's just like, take one more step and I kill it. And he's like, let's not be rash. I thought that was really good. I like the fast quip humor. That's my favorite kind of humor. But yeah, no, I feel like they could have done a lot more. He does save Star-Lord in the end, but because he wasn't wearing his goddamn helmet. But all in all, I thought he was really good for some bits. I thought he could have been used a lot more. All right, so I'm gonna start to wrap this up. Uh, let's talk about the ending. Really sad. I honestly thought that all of them were going to die, or some of them were going to die. Mainly Batista and like Gamora. Any character who used like heavy makeup was going to die, but no, it's the characters that you think would stay. Uh, so Peter Quill goes off back to Earth finally to go figure out, see if his grandfather's alive. Uh, Gamora goes back with the Ravagers. Mantis goes to figure out who she is. I thought that was really cool, but I want her to come back. She's my favorite. Nebula continues to take care of Nowhere, and Drax stays there. He stays to help, which is weird because Batista said that he's not going to play Drax anymore. So I don't know if they'll ever go back to Nowhere and say, "Oh, Drax is gone" or like he's dead. So what does Rocket and Groot do? They form the new Guardians of the Galaxy, which consists of Kraglin, Groot, Rocket, Adam Warlock, Cosmo, the telepathic Russian dog, and uh, a little girl with superpowers who was saved by the Guardians in the end of the film. And that's a new Guardians team. So I like the idea that Peter goes back home. But at the same time, it's like you've explored the galaxy and now you want to go back home. I mean, okay, but bring one of those like spaceships with you, dude. Like the universe might need you again. Gamora going back with the Ravagers made sense, but I don't know. Mantis going off on her own, all right, but I hope she comes back. And then the new team, Guardians of the Guardians, good lineup, but I think it could. I don't know if I would see another Guardians movie with this as the team. But again, maybe they'll make another one, and it'll be a good. It'll be a good script. It'll be a good movie. So I like the ending, how they all go off on their own ways. Some of them stay the Guardians, and some of them just stay at nowhere, and most of them just go on their own. I think that's really cool. Yeah, really emotional ending. And when it happened, I kind of forgot, like, oh yeah, this is the last one. This is where like some of them like die or like say goodbye, and it's almost all of them. I was like, oh shit, no. But the ending's really nice. It's the dog days are over. That plays over all their scenes. Drax finally dances, and yeah, I really like the ending. I thought it was really heartwarming. It was really a good wrap up to James Gunn's whole trilogy. Yeah, all in all, what would I rate this movie? 4.5 out of 5. But yeah, I really love this movie. I had a great time seeing it. I hope we get more good Marvel movies like this. Uh and yeah, that's it for my review. If I miss anything, leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.